Hi guys, welcome to another freight market update. This one is for the month of April coming up. My name is Greg. I am the Director of Marketing here at Navia. I'm here with Yanis Papanthimos, who is our Head of Ocean Product. Yanis, let's start off with looking at the capacity. As we know from last month's update, we look at a traffic light system. Red means that there is less than 30% of typical capacity. Orange or yellow means 30 to 70%. And then green means there's 70 to 100% of typical capacity available in the market. So at the moment, let's start with the biggest one, China to Oceania. What are we looking at?
As anticipated, we are having a couple of blank sailings.
What color?
We will definitely go with yellow/orange.
Yellow/orange. Okay, yep.
Yeah. As I said initially, it is expected because we have seen the rates being a little bit soft during March. So as a consequence, carriers are trying to keep the FAK rates elevated.
Yep.
And of course, the toy that they have to play with is capacity.
Yep.
So a lot of blank sailings are going to happen over the next couple of weeks out of Asia and specifically China into Oceania. Yeah,
we're seeing the same thing on the American or Trans-Pacific trade lane. I was talking to Kevin, who is our head of procurement over there, and he was saying a similar thing. A lot of blank sailings, especially at the start of the month, soaking up that capacity, which obviously, will drive up the rates. So we're seeing the same thing. What about the rest of Asia? What's that look like?
Much
Green?
more or less the same in terms of capacity, meaning no additional blank sailings, definitely looking into a green color.
Okay, beautiful. All right. What about EU into Oceania?
That's quite interesting. AU, the last couple of weeks, if not months, is having some serious issues in terms of congestion based on strikes, etc., etc.
Yeah, last time you said France, from memory?
Correct. Now what we're seeing is that we're having some issues in the major North European ports, such as Rotterdam and Antwerp.
Yep.
We have seen one of the major carriers pretty much saying that they're going to have some structural blank sailings out of Rotterdam for the foreseeable future.
Okay.
And that will obviously create some additional congestion on the port of Antwerp, which is nearby. So Europe at this stage is quite congested.
Okay, beautiful. It's a bit of a wild world out there at the moment. From the air freight side of things, more of the same essentially from my understanding. We're seeing less of the demand for air freight than is typical, but still it's slightly congested. Again, e-commerce dominating that space. That hasn't changed a heap. What about looking to the month ahead? What do you think in terms of, if I'm a supply chain manager, what are the things that I need to be looking out for?
First of all, it would make sense to have our named account contracts finalized, so the long-term deals.
So because that should be done.
That should be done. We're already pretty much almost in April.
Yep.
Most of the named account contracts start from 1st of April, so having them finalized makes sense.
If you haven't, bad luck.
At the same time, because of the blank sailings that we just talked earlier before, we do expect to see some disruption in the uplift, so it would make sense for a supply chain manager to try and book minimum 2 to 3 weeks in advance, especially out of Northeast Asia. And rate-wise, Northeast Asia is definitely going up. So we have seen the FAK rates going, we expect them to go up for the first fortnight of April. Southeast Asia, much more stable, more flat, maybe even a little bit reduced.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you very much for that, Yanis. Appreciate it. And we will see you next time.
Thank you.